Jordan Peterson has had enough of the woke moralists teaching people facts and information, and apparently is launching his own online university. That's right. This venture, labeled the Peterson Academy, is an online education platform utilizing a revolutionary learning app and coupling it with professionally produced content. We aim to make education both affordable and useful, according to the program's YouTube page. This former psychology professor also vowed the program will be 95% less expensive than a typical university. Maybe he does that by making it 95% less useful. Look, that said, I'm all for criticizing the price of college these days, because it is super, super incredibly expensive, especially compared to what you do get at the end. That said, I don't think his university is going to be at all useful. Now, while touting the benefits of joining the online course, Peterson said that once all the courses are ready to go, his potential students will be able to take them so they won't be a complete embarrassment to themselves. But we wouldn't want that, would we? No, of course not. In fact, Peterson, in his announcements, the program would help students interact with quote-unquote sophisticated people. Here's some of that ad.
You need to be enculturated so that you can play with sophisticated people and you could play a sophisticated and productive game, but also so that you've informed yourself with the greatest ideas of history so that whatever problem you're tackling, you're going to have tools to tackle it with. Once we get it well developed, you'll be able to take all these courses and then, you won't be a complete embarrassment to yourself. You'll be damn fortunate if we can provide you with a list of people who've graduated, and if you had any sense, you'll employ them preferentially because we did the rigorous screening work. And I know how to do the rigorous screening work because I studied that for like 25 years. A degree from our university will signify high-level conscientiousness and general cognitive ability, and those are very valuable for any employer with a clue. So I think we can just skip the accreditation process and go right to the employers.
95% of that editing was not from me. That was in the original video. Okay. High-level conscientiousness and general cognitive abilities. If you get that from, if you go to Peterson University, that's what you're going to get. Ah, yes. What's funny is I see that and it's like, well, okay, so is Jordan Peterson identifying now as trans or non-binary? I don't know. I mean, they say that they're not cis, so I don't want to misgender them. That would be very, very rude for me to do. Seriously, though, aside from this being an obvious and hilarious cash grab, it's not really going to do a whole lot for students, honestly. I mean, you see, in order to be considered a university, you do have to be accredited. And he said, oh, we're just going to skip that accreditation. That's not how that works. Again, accreditation just means that you meet educational standards. Now, look, Peterson is a psychologist by trade, okay? So I'm sure, he can, I'm sure he can devise a course that could meet some regulatory standards. And if so, good for him. Okay? Now, that said, it would involve getting reviewed, having your curriculum reviewed by private non-governmental organizations as to the quality of your education. And that's if he's actually launching a real university and not a fake university. Now, that said, I'm not saying that Jordan Peterson is not an intelligent individual. He is. But at the same time, he's such an incredibly goofy, ridiculous person with generally harmful and awful opinions about transgender people. And so that makes me think that his so-called university is just going to be fake. It's just going to be about pushing anti-trans and anti-vax culture war nonsense under the guise of giving people a quote-unquote real education. That's not going to help you in the real world. This culture war stuff, nobody cares about it. Honestly, nobody cares. The vast majority of Americans, and I'm assuming Canadians as well, but I think he's pandering to a more Canadian audience in this, don't care about this culture war stuff. It's a very niche amount of people. I mean, you can look in the American elections and you can see that this culture war narrative, all these anti-trans attacks, didn't really land with people. A lot of the most virulently anti-trans people ended up losing their elections. So it's not going to help them. It's not going to help them in their daily lives. Employers are not looking for people who are anti-woke. So I'm just saying, I don't think it's going to be useful from what I can see. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. That said, I do know one thing. That this will probably end up making Jordan Peterson a little bit of money. That said, I went back and I feel like I fixed his ad. You saw most of the ad before, but now I want to show you my version of it.
Let's discuss what we're doing with Peterson Academy.
We thought, what if we could make you a useless, resentful, bitter, pointless, counterproductive lump? You'll be able to take all these courses and then you'll be a complete embarrassment to yourself.
It's just a scam.
You'll be damn fortunate if we can provide you with a list of people who've graduated. A degree from our university will signify you're stupid and you don't know anything about anything. Those are very valuable for any employer with a clue. So I think we can just skip the accreditation process and go right to the employers.